Hey, Sebastian here, showmeat.com, here with another episode. Today we're going to take another look at the NORD Stage 3. Last week we put up a video, good friend of mine, Ed Spence from Chuck 11 Music out of Maryland. He gave some opinions on the board, what he felt from his perspective, and you know we're all entitled to our own opinions. He's a salesman, and a lot of things he gets back feedback from customers. I don't believe he personally owns the board. And some people disagreed with some of the things he said about the board. And that's, in all fairness, everybody has their own opinions. But a good friend of mine's reached out to me, and he wanted to share his perspective on the board. Now, as you know, we did a video with my guy, Randy Jenkins, the gospel guy. He showed you some things about the board. But now, in all fairness, he mostly uses that board for production. He really doesn't take it out of the house. He loves it for the studio, for his production, making records, and so forth. And by the way, we got some more stuff coming from him, some real interesting stuff. Just a little sidebar. But a good friend of mine, Vaughn Breathwaite out of Boston, he's originally from New York. He's a graduate of Berkeley. He has a wonderful site called Gospel University. Make sure you check it out. But what he did, he uses the board. He gigs with it. He plays out with it all the time. That's his board. So he did us a little video showing you different aspects of the board, how to use it, how to set it up, how to manipulate it in live situations. So I want you to check this video out and let us know how you enjoy it. Now, this video is really geared towards two people. Number one, people that use the board and is not as familiar of setting it up and getting certain settings and layers and so forth going on. And then you have some people that are interested in possibly buying the board. This will help you in your decision making, whether you want to make it your board or not. But he gave a great presentation, and I want you to sit back, enjoy this, listen to it. All right.
Hey everybody, it's Vaughn here from the Gospel University, and today I want to talk about the practical ways to use a NORD Stage 3. Alright, now a good friend of mine, buddy of mine for over, good God, 15 or 16 years now, Sebastian Wheat over at WHEATWORKS, had a video on his page about the NORD Stage 3, and there were some things that I didn't quite agree with, so I want to kind of make a response video to kind of highlight how you can use a NORD in practical situations, okay? So the main things we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about splits, we're going to be talking about layering, all right? And we're also going to be talking about some of my other favorite functions of this board that I use in a pretty nifty way, using the dual keyboard function, which is the on the panel B button underneath right here, that light. Now, so let's first start out with the layering. Okay, now this is the thing with the NORD. When you're in a live gospel setting or a live gig setting, and you have a lot of sounds and you have a lot of things going on, what you will have to do, all right, is think ahead. You have to be proactive. You have to actually learn the board. The thing with the NORD is sometimes we're so used to these manufacturers preparing sounds for us and doing the hard work for us that we don't do the thing ourselves. And in the NORD, it is required of you, even though they give you great programs and great stuff. But if you want to really make it your own, it's required of you to understand how all this works. So let me see here. What do I have? This is one of my main stacks. All right, now we're going to talk about now is layering. So you heard I had an EP there, you heard I had a synth, some strings there, etc., etc. Yeah, my organ section is on, but it's not heard right now because I don't have it. Excuse me. I don't have it. The organ pedal is all the way down. Okay, so I'm not using the organ at the very moment. Okay, now creating layers in this is very, very easy. All right, and basically, if you want to start with a clean slate, a totally clean slate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go now, and all this functionality I can't walk through because it's in the NORD. It's going to be in the NORD manual, which is pretty good. But I'm going to go to an empty slot. Okay, so now it says empty. N51 is empty. Oh, where I'm playing my MIDI on the on this here computer here. Let me shut that off. Good. So nothing is being played right now. There's nothing. So I want to do my normal stack, right? So I create a program from scratch. Say I want to do, now I already have these already pre-made for me, but I'm going to show you the process. So I'm going to go to Piano Engine, turn Piano Engine on. Very dry piano. Nothing on it. I love that because I can create the ambience and the effects I want. Now, say I want to do my typical worship kind of layer, right? You got a good piano, some strings, maybe a pad or something, some kind of saw pad. So we're going to create that. So we have this. Good. We got that going. Next, I'm going to turn on my synth engine. Now, if you know the synth engine in here, there's 5 categories of synth. Classic, which is the classic waves. Let me turn the piano off, you hear it? Remember, all dry. Okay? So you have waves, different variations of the wave. You won't need to use all of these. This is just simple. Now, for most of us, what we're going to go, I'm going to fast forward and go to sample. Sample is where they have literal samples of instruments. So in this case, we have string. See how? Okay, they play, they get out the way. All right, now my release is pretty low. We're going to talk about adjusting those and tweaking those other synth settings in a second. But now we have this. And we have the piano. Right now for me, too loud on the string, so obviously I'm going to turn the volume down. Now it's still good, but it's a little better, but it sounds too much, right? So now, knowing the synth engine of the NORD Stage 3, what am I going to do? I'm going to take the frequency knob, this one right here, okay? I don't got no zoom or nothing, so y'all bear with me, but if y'all have the board or schematic, y'all can check it out. The frequency knob has the red logoing around it. It says FREQ. And what we're going to do, I'm going to take the piano off. You hear this? This is the strings. So this is the string wide open. I'm going to roll some of the frequency off. Gets real mellow. You hear that? Now it still has a quick release. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the release up. Release is a few knobs over under the amp envelope section. Now the release is turned up. You hear it? No sustain pedal. Now it rings free. Okay? I don't want that much though. Turn it down. Turn it down. That's good. So they have a more mellow string. Now add the piano. Turn the piano engine back on. Watch it. Okay. So now, so far I have a good. Now what if I wanted to create something more killer? Oh, let me save this first before it's unnamed. So now I have a good piano with some strings. Okay. Now, what if I want some kind of pad thing? like a synth pad underneath that as well. Now what we're gonna do, because people say you can't layer in this thing, you have to use. Oh look, people want to love me now. All right, good. Silence. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to panel B. Don't you listen? Let me shut you down real quick. Okay, good. So we got we're gonna go to panel B. Now I'm on panel A right now. Now what I love about the panels is it basically turns the NORD into two boards, right? Two NORDs, right? So on panel A, I have my piano engine and my synth engine doing one thing. The synth engine currently is playing strings legato, okay? And I turned the frequency down. I saved it, bang, bang. That red button that says store, save that, hit it twice. Now, that's very nice. Now I want to go to panel B. So now panel B, if I were to isolate them, if I take off everything on panel A and go to panel B, there's nothing, okay? So panel A is off, panel B has nothing on it yet. So what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna create some crazy kind of pad thing. Now, what I want is to turn the synth engine on because I know kind of what I'm going for. And I'm probably gonna go for some kind of wave or super wave. This is a raw super wave. Right? The joint is powerful. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it and incorporate it into what I had before. So now panel B only has this super wave. Panel A, if I turn it back on, has everything else. But see, this super wave is kind of abrasive, obviously. So what I'm gonna do, once again, isolate, and I'm going to good. I want no tremolo on it. Give me a little release. Okay, good. Save, save, just to make sure. Go back to panel A. Save, save. Good. Now together it should sound like this. Now, when I do churchy mode, I'm going to have to turn those release down to make it cut off a little faster. But now you see, I made a good layer, right? Now, this is pretty okay. I mean, I say this is a very good worshipful type joint. I still might turn the super wave down just a little bit and open it up more on the frequency knob. So I turn the volume of it down, open it up more, and let's see what happens here. Still a little too much. Turn it more. That was the wrong one I did that time. Excuse me. This one, here we go. That's it. Synths are still a little loud for me. I'm going to turn them down even more. Turn them down even more. Let the piano ring through. Once again. So now, that's a good sound. Let me say that. Actually, I'm gonna make that's a new one. I'm keeping that for myself. All right. So store. So now we create a layer. Now, next, well, I'm on my itinerary. All right, good. The next thing is, well, you created all these crazy sounds. How you gonna pull them up in the gig or on the thing? What you do is using the NORD computer software or just being organized on the board. What you do is you create using song mode. So you take these programs that you save and you create songs out of them. Now in our case, we're not going to do songs. We're going to create templates, right? Templates. So what I do now, I'm going to pull up my song mode. Now, song mode is on the gray button to the left of this middle screen here called song mode. Now, I have a list of songs. All right, I have my club set. When I play my club gigs, I have club mains. I have certain songs that are very specific, like Ain't Nobody or whatever. They get their own song list or song mode entry. But right now, I have one song club mains. Each song has 5 parts in it. And in each of those parts, there are programs that, like the one I just created, right? So if you think ahead, once again, you know you're playing a gospel gig, you create a gospel stack. So I have a gospel stack right here. If I'm playing CCM, I have a CCM stack with certain kind of pads. If I play, and for the most part, it's gospel, CCM, and club gigs, right? And then for my wedding band or stuff like that, or anything, I have songs for those, right? But for the most part, those are pretty simple. You know, I also have my super synths, a song list that comes in NORD, very good for the 80s stuff. Now when y'all start playing your Bon Jovi, etc. Right, that's all in there. I made sure I have those there. So you want to take your most commonly used sounds or programs, right? Pre-make them, tweak them to your liking, then compile them into song mode. Okay, now the manual tells you how to do this thing, so I'm not going to walk through that step here, okay, but I'm just giving you a concept so y'all understand that this board is not nothing to run away from. In fact, as a matter of fact, it liberates the hell out you because you can tweak on the fly if you know what you're doing. And if you make a tweak, but guess what? You want to snap back to your original preset, just press the program again. So watch this. Say this is my club set. Right? And I want to do something like this. And I want to open the strings up. And I want to do this. Watch this, I'm gonna reset. I've just reset the board. Now watch the next thing I play. You see what I'm saying? Live tweak on the fly if I know how I'm gonna do it. But when you wanna reset it, just hit the button again. The program is pulled up. But with the seamless transitions, you get right back to square one. Now, on any other board that's going on right now, it's gonna cut the sound off. Facts. And that's annoying. I don't like that. I love this because I can make dumb changes and then I could do what I want to do. Now, I didn't set up the MIDI board, but there's another thing you can do with this. Now, I showed you how to layer for the most part and create your sounds and so on and so forth. And the same thing goes with splits, guys. If you know that there's a certain split configuration that you like on the board, you can create it in a program. It'll pull the split up. Now, me personally, I don't like using splits because I like using another function the board has, which is the dual keyboard function. So I like to take a MIDI keyboard, hook it up to this, or another board altogether, like a Roland or whatever, and using the MIDI settings in here, you can slave one board. You can slave the other board to the NORD. So if I pull up a program in here, right, it'll automatically switch to the program in the other board. All right. Now I'm making this video off the cuff, for Sebastian. But there is I'm gonna make another video on how to do that as a follow up, and I'll send it to him as well. Okay, but that's possible with this thing. Now, my personal rig, I use this, and I slave a MIDI keyboard to it because I use the MIDI keyboard for panel B, or rather, I use panel B for the MIDI keyboard. So for all my stacks, you see this light. There's a light underneath panel B that's lit. It's because it's set for dual keyboard function. So there's some kind of lead on top or some kind of synth on top that I would normally use in a club situation, or for my gospel stuff, a gospel situation, or for my CCM stuff, CCM situation. Okay? And this is going to remember all that stuff. Now, so right now, I have a panel A and panel B, right? But you can't hear panel B because it's set to go out to the other board, right? But I don't have the board connected. So, but it's still, even if it's not connected, you can't hear it. Now watch this. I'm going to take dual keyboard off, and I'm going to take panel A off, and you're going to hear what's supposed to be on the top. And this is one of my synth leads. That's one of my leads for my club gigs. Another one. See that tweak I just made, how I turned that all off? Guess what? I made that tweak. Guess what? I go back to it. It's still there. Back to normal. Just a live tweak on the thing. Get right back to it. Next, I also have the same bottom. So sometimes what I find myself doing, I like having the same main set up, but I want different tops, right? So I'll copy the program, but make the tweak for the top part. So same bottoms, right? Watch this. Change it. Still sounds the same on the bottom, but watch this. The top. If I turn go to panel B, turn off dual keyboard, because once again I don't have it hooked up, and I play. I have my brass. That's what's going to be on my top board if I had it hooked up. Now watch this. Just click it again. I'm back to normal. Same bottoms, but guess what? There's another lead on top. Do the same process again. Turn off dual keyboard. Go to panel B. All right. Oh, this one has the R&B lead in there. There we go. So for like when you're doing your rock with you. I use that when I'm playing. I want to rock with you. That's my sign lead for R&B stuff, right? Click it again. You know what I mean? I'm back to normal. The dual keyboard thing is up. It remembers it, right? And this is the function. This is the flexibility of this. You can create programs because you planned ahead what your swag is on the keys, right? You know what you want your splits to be. You know what you want your top and bottoms to be. If you have another board, you can hook it up to this and make it slave that board, right? So some Rolands like Gaias or FA06s or Phantoms or whatever, it can slave it. It can go right to the patch you want, right? And still have the tweakability of the bottoms. You know, sometimes I do a 3-board setup. I have this. I have my MIDI going to panel B, or going from panel B to the MIDI board. Then I have also per program, even though I have that MIDI thing going on, I have it control my Roland, right? My Roland FA06 or whatever else I want to control. So I have a 3-board setup, and it's all controlled right here. Easy. I don't have to go do this board, then do that board. None of that crap, okay? Simple, streamlined. All it takes is y'all learning how to use the board. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could tell y'all. The biggest thing that's going to unlock this board for you is learning how synthesis works, okay? Learn this synth engine on the NORD. Learn how synthesis works in general, guys. When it comes to making sounds and making tweaks and learning how to use the morphs and everything, it's so beautiful. And even getting some of the sound banks that you can get from NORD themselves, you can use those as educational tools to teach you how the patch was made. I love this board because I've learned how Julian Pollock or Mike Burrell or all those guys who create these sounds, how they did it. I can look at each knob, hit the monitor copy button, and see what parameter was affected and to what amount it was affected. Okay, so the NORD Stage 3, I love it. It's honestly, these are the only boards I really use. I hardly use my Roland and stuff anymore, or my Yamahas. I just create everything on this. If I want to get sounds from something else, I just sample it with the sample editor, all right, and put it into the board, okay? And I really don't use my computers or anything like that anymore. If I'm doing a live show that has samples in it, I just set the samples to the first octave or something or whatever, or set the samples to my MIDI keyboard on panel B, right? I'll do that, hook up the NORD to my Roland or something, have the Roland do my top sounds, and have my MIDI board or my trigger pad, my Akai MP trigger pad, control all the samples for the gig. All right, nice clean setup, ain't gotta worry about nothing, and I'm a happy camper. But this all happens when you pre-plan and you think ahead. If you try to go into this joint blind, you about to shoot yourself in the foot. All right, so I hope this helps you guys out understand the functionality and the possibilities of applying the NORD and using the NORD practically in gig situations. Once again, the main thing for you guys is the song mode feature. Create templates, okay? I have my club gigs. Go through. If I need something for a real piano, some Alicia Keys or something, you're right. You know, I don't know what the damn song is. Yeah. My piano, that's for club gigs. If I want to get real funky with it, I got some whirly. I got my whirly. That's what I use, right? Now, a caveat. If you're saying, oh, well, for this certain type of music I play, I need more than just 5 parts. There's more stuff I need. Well, guess what? Create Vaughn Club Mains. That's what I have here. I'll do a Vaughn Club Mains 2, right? So if I say I want to switch in the middle, so I know I need something from Vaughn Club Mains 2 for the next song. I'm going to do, guess what, guy? Switch the song. Hold sustain pedal, switch the song, go to Club Mains 2, hit the program you know you need, bang. Now, that was Ain't Nobody, Shaka Khan. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? And this one has a split, right? So this one has a split in it. This one I programmed to have that split because down here has the arpeggiator going and all that, okay? So actually I'm glad that mistake happened because now you guys can see how you use the splits as well, okay? And same thing, it goes into the program. Same thing, look, Ain't Nobody verse 2. So Ain't Nobody intro, Ain't Nobody verse 2 is a little bit different. So it's like, okay, so that's that. Another song, my gospel stack, right? Tender Grand for the gentle moments. Got my churchy attack, courtesy of Mike Burrell. I made some tweaks to it, but I just say them the same name. I have my organ on here, so when I want to have organ stuff, put my pedal on. I have it set to live, so my drawbars are there. And when I want to do some real churchy stuff, I have my churchy piano. This is similar to what y'all do on the ADSR stuff with like the motif and stuff like that. So what I got this was from Julian Pollock, and what he did was he sampled a board that he probably did that to, and he just put it in the NORD. He just sampled every note. That's all he had to do. He sampled, I don't know if he sampled it true to form, like each note or whatever, but I think what he did was he did one or every couple of notes, transposed them, etc., etc. And like I said, the possibilities are endless. Okay, guys? So, hope this was helpful. I really hope this was helpful. Like I said, CCM. I like putting that little organ in there because it's weird. Y'all forgive me for that. There's another CCM pad now. If I take this CCM pad off and go to panel B again, this is what I have on top. Now what I'm gonna do is put that on, take the keyboard out, and I'm gonna put that stuff together. Okay. Hold on, I'm on the wrong thing. Go ahead, take that off again. Bang, here you go. Still a different sound. Oh, that was too loud. I gotta retweet that one. I usually use it on top. I don't usually put them together, but I put the bells on top. I usually don't use that together. That's why it sounds kind of weird together. Usually, I love one of Julian Pollock's songs. Wrong one, sorry. Here you go. Usually use that as some kind of weird atmospheric thing. Tendergram, and this one I like using a lot too for CCM. Alright, I like that one. That's another Julian Pollock sound, okay? So, that is it for me in this whole NORD thing. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys understand how it can be used. You just need to learn the board, guys. Just learn the board. Don't make excuses. Learn how synthesis works. Learn how to use these little knobs. The one that y'all going to use the most is the frequency knob and the sample section of the synth. That's the easiest to get started with, but learn the other stuff too. I made some crazy sounds with it, and I love it. The customization is off the charts with this thing, and it's easy for you to get your own sound with this board. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna go eat dinner. See y'all later. Peace. This is Vaughn from the Gospel University. If you want to learn more about me or anything like that, go to thegospeluniversity.com. Check out our YouTube channel. And Sebastian, thank you once again for allowing me to come on here and educate the folks just a little bit about the possibilities of what you could do with a NORD Stage 3. Y'all have a good night. God bless. Peace.